Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Tonight we have Ashton on from Native Sons. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing all right. How about you, man?
I'm doing good. Ashton's calling from down south. So you have a new album out, and you've had a couple lineup changes with the album, but the album was recorded. Maybe you can kind of touch on that a little bit before we hop into this really good album.
Yeah, the changes, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, the album was recorded in 2018 with a few different members. We sat on the album for probably about a little bit to a year. Just trying to find a label to put it out because we knew what we wanted to do with it. But then somewhere in 2019, the pandemic hit, and all the original members had to go on and get jobs, and travel was pretty much halted. Yep. So with health issues and stuff, those guys couldn't commit to touring and stuff. I think the guitar player got married and was having a kid, and the drummer unfortunately had a stroke. He's fine now, but he was having to relearn how to play. And
you have your behind the music right there.
Yeah. He ended up recovering, and he's back to playing music. So that was fortunate for him, but they all told me, take the music as far as you can go with it, put out another album. And they're really awesome guys, but they just couldn't commit to, what it has become, I guess. So we ended up getting a second lineup, and then, I don't think that those guys really, knew what it was going to take, or that it would take off as fast as it did. So we had to, unfortunately, replace those guys. But it's hard, it's hard finding people that can go on the road, and because it's a different beast. You recording the album's one thing, but going out there and touring for 30 days at a time, it's hard on some people. So it's people probably always like, well, why is the lineup, why is Skid Row changing their lineup all the time? Why is this person doing that? It's because some people just can't do it, and that's fine. So we released the album this March 12th of 2021. And then we've just been picking up from there. We're on Monsters on the Mountain, Masquerade. We're playing with Lily and Axe. We're actually going to Virginia this tomorrow. We're going to be headed out to Virginia. Going to get down there early and do a show on Saturday. But we're booked up every weekend.
Oh, excellent. Good. Well, of all bands to learn from, one of the great hardworking bands is Lily and Axe. Steve is one of the kindest guys you're going to find out there in the circuit.
I look forward to meeting him.
He's fantastic. He is. You wait. You'll know him for 5 minutes and he'll be your best friend. He's the kindest guy ever. So this album's got a lot of different influences. It feels like it's got some of the new, I hate saying new old, I hate the comparisons. I can hear a lot of different types of influences in it though, besides what I've seen listed, your bio of artists. And interesting harmonies too. Is there a specific group that you like really kind of your harmonies that aren't so much in the blues range? Because I even can hear some King's X sometimes in some of your harmonies. The way it's layered, it's nice.
Well, I would say that a lot of our influences came from different areas. The drummer used to be in the Bullet Boys. The bass player played for Lou Gramm for a while, Foreigner, and then the guitar player was strictly a metal guy. He hung out with Shinedown and some other guys like that. And so I was more the 70s influence. So we had like 80s, 90s, and 70s in there. So it's really just a melting pot of music. Some people have labeled it the new classic rock. It's kind of fun.
It's really funny. The worst labels, I guess. I mean, there's,
Yeah. But I took a lot of different influences from a lot of different music, because I listen to all kinds of music, and that's kind of what I think that is developing new sound.
I hear that in it. I hear that it's a reflection. It's not a copy of something, but you kind of put off your influences on some level, but it's not. It's original. I think that's probably why the album's striking a little more of a chord and picking up faster, because it has its own little rhythm to it. Hopefully you can, with your new members, you're going to be able to carry on the same process. The songwriting process before early on, was that mostly you?
No, the music was written by a guy named Steve Swordface. He named
First name?
because he has this little cut on his face right there. Someone at a bar one time brought in a sword and just like, I guess they were drunk and they just like cut his face a little bit. So they always called him Swordface after that. But he wrote some of the music. I wrote One Another and Monster. Those were songs that I had come in with prior to the band.
Yep.
I wrote all the lyrics and melody. Except for Silver Lining, he collaborated with me on that. But the lyrics were all mine, the melodies all mine. I brought it in to the band, and they gave me their blessing to carry on with it. The new lineup is definitely carrying that same kind of writing style as we're trying to do. We found members that were we weren't trying to find members that were close to other members, but we wanted someone in the same wheelhouse, someone with the same kind of influences, I guess, because there is a sound to be had, like you said. You were like, hopefully we can do it again, but I think we are. We did a writing session yesterday.
Well, if you're doing the lyrics and you're doing the melody, that's a big part of it. And I was going to say, I went back, kind of listened to the album and different levels, and different parts of the music could have actually been considered, like with your, it does have that classic rocky, I guess you want to call that vibe sound with your melody to it. But if you took it out and you put different vocal styles on that, the music could almost be like a 90s music. Like the guitar riffs are so different to where they're going. Like your melody is driving almost like what the sound is when you pull off your vocals. The guitars actually sound almost a little different to me, which I thought was really interesting. So I think you kind of control the sound anyhow with your melody in your voice, unless of course you got some crazy guitar tone.
Yeah. Well, I'd agree with that. It's a singer can definitely make or break things, but so can every member of the band. I would say that that's one thing that we decided going into it is, we were all equally split. So like whenever royalties come into play, we're all just splitting it equally. So I don't see myself as a bigger part of the music than the guitar player or the drummer, or the bassist. It's a unit and it's a family. That's the way I always thought.
That's the way it's going to last. That's the way to make it happen. I'm just saying, for a signature sound of a band though, like, let's go something easy for the audience would know. Aerosmith, okay? Steven and the guitar, and Joe, you know what I'm saying? Their sound. If Steven Tyler sings a solo song, like when he did country music, you're like, that's Steven Tyler singing country. Like there's a difference, that voice but it's really the voice of Aerosmith. So like, a guitar player is the same way, Slash plays a song, which Slash's guitar tone, no matter what band he's in. Certain sounds will dictate, and depending on how big your legacy is of who you are, I'm saying, you're known by that. I mean, look at most rock bands that are out now, more rock bands, some of the newer bands don't have their own signature sound. I think that's what's kind of great about you guys. You're back into the vein of having a singer with your own voice, your own sound.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's good. It's really good. Let's talk about some of these songs. So Silver Lining, first thing, it was the first single. Actually, The Key was your first single, right? And then One Another, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the process? So are you going to keep, because obviously with COVID, it's been kind of a challenge for every artist to release an album, and being a new band, not really touring, then putting an album together, has really been a challenge on top of that for you. Are you going to doing some more like singles as you start to go on the road now, or?
Well, we've released the entire album. The album's out on Spotify and anywhere it's streamed. I'm thinking that we'll probably just release another album March 12th. That's my goal anyway. It's we might release a single off the next album. We don't have anything recorded right now because of the new lineup. It's only been probably fresh for about 4 months now. But we did get into our first real demoing stage. So yesterday. So we've got probably 3 or 4 songs already in the works. As far as the next album goes, I want to get 10 songs done by December. I was a folk artist for a long time. I like all kinds of music. Cat Stevens is one of my favorite artists, just because of his melody lines and his lyrics. I like a good lyricist, someone who's intelligent. Like the key, I drew a lot of biblical influences from that. I was going through something spiritually, so a lot of these some of these songs are spiritual in ways, and some of them have political means, but it's not a political album. I never wanted to force my opinion on someone else. It's just about rock and roll, and it's about things that I was going through at the time lyrically. When it comes to writing with the band, I usually, if I have a riff, I'll bring it to them. Like we're working on this song called Broken Love. And I wrote all the guitar parts to it. It was something that I had previous to the band, and we're just kind of making it our own. So there's different writing processes. I'll work with the guitar player. I think the bass player is also a guitar player. He wrote some songs. So we're kind of collaborating together on that.
You're gonna keep it still split that whoever comes in 4 ways for everybody the whole way through?
Yeah.
For songwriting? Yeah. So I actually think I like Monster. I was actually surprised. Monster should be single. I always thought that was probably one of my it's funny you mentioned that because it's my favorites in the album. So
thank you.
It definitely is a standout. Are you you favoring certain songs on a set, or what are you guys doing playing out now? Are you just doing the album itself or some covers? Or how are you guys approaching a new fan base? Being a new band?
We just play the album right now. We're trying to push the album. That's our goal for this summer. But we are working on some songs, and if we get them written in time, we'll try to play them out live for people, so anyone who comes to concerts can get a little something extra than just the album. We don't have anything right now, so the Virginia will just be the album, but I'm thinking by Monsters on the Mountain we'll have some new stuff.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really good. This is really good. This is exciting. I'm looking at some of your songs here. You have I just enjoyed it. I've been listening to it the past week. Came across a little while back, obviously from Bill, and it's a really good album. And I want to encourage people to go out and get it. Check you guys out. Do you guys have you prefer like Facebook, Instagram? What do you prefer fans can reach out to you at?
I'd say Facebook, but we're on everything. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, Twitter. I don't keep up with the Twitter as much because I've just never really got into Twitter. I guess my label takes care of that. We I guess what's the auto posting to Twitter. But if you want to engage with the band, I would say Instagram or Facebook would be the best way.
I don't Twitter. To me, Twitter is a bunch of people in a room standing on a box yelling at each other. It just feels like there's so much going on. I don't even know how you can even keep up with it. Like I don't even understand it.
It was almost like Reddit. It's like I never understood who was talking to who on Reddit.
Yeah,
like
and there's too much information too.
It connected, and it's like
it
just I don't know. I never really got it.
Yeah, so it's pretty much I know different artists favor certain platforms. It's usually Facebook or Instagram to reach out to them. So I want to thank you for being on the show, man. And
thank you
for you on tour. All right, you have a good day.
You too, man.
Okay, take care. Bye.